Diamonds to Pebbles. Chapter 8. Where is my sunray, Artis? King Nuno demanded as he stormed the throne room where just about everyone in the castle waited for him. It was supposed to be a friendly welcome, but Evelyn's father couldn't care less. Off to the side, Evelyn watched with sad eyes. Her father was still in the wrong after all. She held in her tears as she made sure to stay hidden within the group of servants. "Welcome to you too," Artis said. "Truthfully, we don't know where your daughter is or if she is who she claims to be. That's why my cousin requested your presence." Evelyn's father didn't calm down as he shouted, "A girl in a starry dress, then a dress like the moon, it's my sunray. I made those dresses for her. She is the only one who could have them. She's been missing. Tell me where she is now." Artis stood his ground. "I don't know, but it's good to know I haven't been lied to. Of course, she could have sold the dresses." Prince Lycos said the girl had golden hair. "That's my sunray." "I'm not saying she isn't, but I do want to make certain. She only shows herself at my events, so I ask you to stay for the ball, where I will announce my engagement. When she comes, you can verify her identity." "Engagement? To whom? My sunray?" King Nuno questioned. Evelyn's ears strained to listen in more. Artis breathed in. "Would that be a problem? I imagine your son accepted my invitation in the hope of that very possibility. Wouldn't it be beneficial for your daughter to marry a king outside of Baldwin?" For a moment, Nuno's anger flickered, and Evelyn began to hope he was finally thinking straight. "My daughter?" She shifted on her feet, trying to get a better view of Nuno's expression. Did he finally understand just who he had been trying to marry? At her movement amongst the still crowd, Nuno caught sight of her. He snapped back into his enraged state, grabbing her arm and dragging her away from the other servants. Nuno looked at Artis on his throne with pure hate. Evelyn's heart hammered like a doe on the run from a predator. "What is this? You have been hiding her," he spat. Artis arched his eyebrows and calmly asked, "Ali? She is a servant." Nuno gripped Evelyn's arm tighter, causing her to grimace. "This coat was a gift I made for her. It went missing when she did. And even if this isn't her, then your servant must know where my sunray is. Tell me, girl." Evelyn tried to get away, but her father held fast. She ended up elbowing her father in the gut and stumbled into Artis, who grabbed onto her shoulder. Her watery eyes looked up at him. He peered down at her, remembering how pretty her eyes were last night. With the water in her eyes, they shined even more. Then he noticed unusual features that weren't typical there, and he frowned at the sudden change. Artis cleared his throat, turning to King Nuno. "She found the coat by the shore. That is what she told us, and she has never seen your daughter." Despite Evelyn's surprise at Artis covering for her, she kept a neutral expression to not give anything away. Her father looked between them, still skeptical. He drew closer to them, looking at Evelyn's face as much as he could with her hood up. She found herself leaning further against Artis. "That isn't enough to trick me. What is she hiding behind that hood?" "A disease," Snow White said, stepping forward. "She doesn't like people being scared of her ailment when they can't even catch it." Evelyn's father squinted over at Snow, not believing her lies. "That's absurd. Take her hood off. I want to see for myself." He reached forward to rip it off her. But Artis instead took it off himself, which Evelyn was unprepared for. She froze as her father scrutinized her. His eyes twitched, and then a large bellow erupted from him. "She surely isn't my daughter with that stringy hair. And those rashes. Be gone, girl." Evelyn lifted the hood back up, but then Prince Lycos came running to see what she looked like. He smirked and allowed her to cover her disgusting face again. So she's a diseased animal? Artis let go of Evelyn's shoulders and ordered her to leave the room, all the while wondering if he had made some kind of mistake. But no, he remembered the locks of gold that sometimes escaped the thick fur, and the involvement Snow told him she was in on Evelyn's charade. Evelyn obeyed Artis' command, rushing from the room in the fastest walk she found acceptable at court. Despite her speed, the walk felt like a never-ending nightmare as she heard her father laughing like some unhinged lunatic. She happily went outside to work on laundry. At the castle well, she collected water to wash Artis's clothes. Once she had the water she needed, she took the bucket over to the larger one, where the clothes were soaking. She scrubbed the garments rigorously, unable to relax even though her plan had worked. When she glanced down at her hands, she found they had become red and wrinkled. She ignored it and continued to work to release her stress. It was hotter than usual with the hood and wig on top of her head. She wiped the sweat off her face, still thankful for the wig for saving her from her father. When all the clothes were ready to be hung, she heard someone approaching her. Without a doubt in her mind, she knew it was Artis. She quickly picked up the basket of damp clothes and headed off to hang them up to dry. That was when he called out to her, and she was forced to stop. "I have questions for you." Evelyn huffed as she set the basket down at her feet, then she turned around to him, her frustration with her father leaking out. "As do I, Your Majesty. Why did you make up that story? Why did you try to kiss me? Why do you stare at my eyes like they're precious gold? If Lycos was here, he would ask to punish you for talking like that. But you are free to speak as you see fit, and so am I. That being said, I respectfully refuse to answer your questions until you agree to answer mine." Evelyn's temper simmered, remembering she was the one who hid the most secrets. "All right. I'm listening." He held out the golden spinning wheel in his palm. "Can you tell me what this means?" A spinning wheel is used to create thread. It is meant as a way of saying that two people spin that promise of which the ring symbolizes. The promise of love? "That's up to you," Evelyn commented, turning back to the basket, but he stopped her again. "Wait! Don't you want the answer to your questions?" She waited, only slightly facing him. "I value you as a person. And you'll have to remind me which kissing scenario we're talking about. Because there was the one in my room and the successful one in the moonlight." Still looking away from him, she smiled. Her eyes were open, and she should have realized that she was the blind one, not him. "So that's how it is. Well, that's an answer on its own. Thank you, Your Majesty. Before you go, answer me this one last question. Will Evelyn come to the ball?" he asked. "It will take courage with her father present, but I think she will," she said, gliding away. Without thinking, Artis dashed forward and blocked her path. She halted before the basket she held collided into him. "I lied. I have 1,000 other questions. Ones I usually don't care to ask, but I want to know anyway. Favorite memory? Favorite book? Anything you want to tell me, and I'll return the favor." Evelyn's heart fluttered at the idea, but then she spotted her father touring the grounds with Snow and Nathaniel. Fear won, and she scurried around him toward the clothesline. Taking out the damp clothes, she pinned them up on the sturdy rope. Artis noticed King Nuno as well but refused to leave and instead lowered his voice. He walked to the other side of the line, moving in sync with her. "Evelyn? You'll speak with her tonight, Your Majesty. Don't go throwing her name around just because." He smiled coyly at her. "Do you give your brother this kind of attitude too?" "Yes, a lot of it. Now leave me be. Or I'll tell Evelyn how invasive you are," she hissed, slightly annoyed, as she hung up the last item, covering her view of him. When she went to leave, she tripped on his feet as he went to block her again. She lurched forward, but he grabbed her by the midsection before she landed on the ground. Evelyn stood upright and quickly backed away before anyone saw. She straightened her hood. "You should know, I just might be in love." "Do you think Evelyn has feelings for me?" he prodded, still too close to her. She couldn't help the blush. "You're what?" "In love." "Possibly. Maybe. I don't really know. I enjoy our honest communication." "Honest? Is it really?" "Well, clearly there's room for improvement, but—" "Excuse me, I have work to do," she pronounced, pushing past him and setting off into a full sprint. She was about to explode from his confession. Meanwhile, he watched as she left. This time, he knew it was best to let her go. There was an unerasable smile on his face. "I'll expect an answer tonight, then."